Welcome to the Music Festivals podcast. This is the show that helps you get to know music festivals, festival venues, and campgrounds before you go. I'm your host, Neighbor Nate, and I'm glad you're in the neighborhood. All right, welcome back, neighbors, to episode number 27 of the Music Festivals podcast. We are coming in on the end of season 2. This is the show that helps you get to know music festivals, festival venues, and campgrounds before you go. And as always, I am still your host, Neighbor Nate. That has not changed at all. Today, we are doing a festival preview for the upcoming Sunshine Get Down Music and Arts Festival that's going to be held down at the Florida Sand Ranch from April 10th through the 12th, and that is in Brooksville, Florida. And my guest this week is somebody who is no stranger to the Music Festivals podcast. I'd like to welcome back to the show Mr. Turner Moore, who is the producer of these festivals with Obsession Productions. Welcome back, Turner.
Nate, how you doing?
Good. Glad to have you back. I'm excited to get back down to Brooksville, to Florida Sand for Sunshine Get Down. And this is I think the original festival that you did, right? Like Hootenanny came after Get Down in terms of your planning and everything. Is that correct?
Yep, that's correct. Our first Get Down was in May of 23. We did another one in May of 24. It went well. And then the venue, the Music Ranch, offered us the November dates. And so that's why we did the Hootenanny, because there was an opening on their calendar. And so this April will be our third Get Down. We had to move from May to April because there's a big event going up at Sewanee Music Ranch, which is a wonderful, massive venue in North Florida, and they're 10 times bigger than we are.
Yeah.
So, we had to get out of the way of that speeding train, and we moved to April. But I like the dates a little bit better. I think it's a little drier. It's a little cooler. We're not quite into the summer heat yet. And the colleges are in session, and, people aren't dealing with graduations and other, stuff like that. So,
yeah, that's once we get into April, especially for me this year, I've got 2 seniors in high school. So my May and June is a little bit dicey with all the senior activities and graduations and things like that. But I'm glad that they offered you the dates for the Hootenanny as well. Before we go into Get Down, I just wanted to recap on that. So I was down there for that. It was a great festival, but what were your reactions to that? How did you think the Hootenanny went down this year?
It was a huge success. It was our first event with national touring bands. So, as I said, we had done 2 Get Downs before, and we were ready at that point to kind of take the leap and start booking bigger bands. And we jumped in with both feet. We had Mo for 2 nights, which was really remarkable. They could play many dates last fall and winter, so we were very lucky to have them. And the reaction from the audience was tremendous. We had people travel from 17 states and Canada to come down for that event. So we had 2 nights of Mo. We also had Dogs in a Pile and Karina Rykeman and a lot of other regional talent. And it was chilly. There were campfires, no rain, and it was a great weekend.
Yeah. I got down there a little bit later than I wanted to, so I didn't actually get to get any video of Karina Rykeman, but I got to hear her entire set and see it from a little bit of the distance as I was kind of getting in, and she was phenomenal. And I thought it was fantastic that Mo opened up with St. Augustine as their opener, which I thought was appropriate for a Florida festival. But really, really great times there. A lot of great campfire jams, and the Florida Sands Ranch is just in terms of intimate venues, it was a lot of fun. So with all that said, this is the more established festival that you've had down there. So what's in store for the Get Down this year? What's the lineup look like, and what are some of the highlights that you think people are going to be excited about?
So we wanted to maintain all that great energy and book some other notable touring bands, national touring bands. So I'll kind of run through it. Our Thursday headliner is Big Something.
Okay.
So bringing their brand of rock, we're excited about. On Friday, we have 3 notable touring bands: Two Bob Crew, Big Funk Outfit, and sorry,
Hi, kitty.
Yeah.
That's all right. Usually you can hear my dog snoring in the background. So
yeah. So Two Bob Crew, great funk outfit. Lamp, which is a trio with members of Trey Anastasia's band and J-Rad.
Okay.
So tremendous energy there. Pigeons Playing Ping Pong is our Friday night headliner. And they were here on the Gulf Coast last February. They played Janice Live, which is a tremendous outdoor venue in downtown St. Pete, one of my favorites. And I got to know them there, and we're excited to have them. And they certainly have a big following here on the Gulf Coast. And then on Saturday, we have some good regional talent, who also do some tours. The Lee Boys, who kind of come from a gospel, sacred steel background. The Reese Brothers, very talented duo. And then Grateful Shred.
Okay.
Angeles. So Grateful Dead tribute band who tears it up. And then Wild Man, Andy Frasco, and the UN are Saturday headliners. So Big Something, Lamp, Frasco, Pigeons, Grateful Shred, Two Bob Crew, just, so much talent there. And then we have two other notable ones that are coming in from out of town. DJ Tad Cautious. So
okay.
If you're a fan of Bunny Radio, Fish on the Fish Sirius channel, Tad Cautious is the DJ for that show.
Okay.
He's going to do two things for us. On Saturday, he's second up, and he's going to do a Talking Heads DJ dance party set.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
It's a little unusual for us. We haven't had any kind of DJs or real electronic music before, but everybody loves the Talking Heads, and it fits. And then after midnight, we have a hard curfew at midnight, so no amplified music. So we're going to keep the party going with a silent disco.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
Tad is going to run a silent disco from midnight to 2 a.m. And, that'll be, if you're familiar with the ranch, it's what's called the Youth Pavilion. It's the area where we did yoga before. So it's going to be yoga and sound meditations during the day in there. And then at night, it's going to be psychedelic lighting and disco dance ball and all that kind of stuff.
It's always fun walking by a silent disco when it's going on. Like I remember seeing them at Bonnaroo and stuff, and you kind of walk by and you're like, what the hell are those people doing? And just kind of like, and you're trying to figure out what they're grooving to, but it makes perfect sense to them. So I think you were at the ranch yesterday. What's it looking like in terms of, I know there's some issues with flooding and whatnot from the weather last year. Has all that started to clear up? Are we getting a little more space down there now?
Yes, absolutely. Before I mention that, I'll just tell you, so the other special guest that we're bringing in from out of town, a DJ named Medicinal from Denver. And he's played in Florida before. And, I let him know that most of our audience listens to things like Billy Strings and Fish and Goose and Almonds and Grateful Dead. And just keep that aware as he's mixing his set. And, he's got some of his own great beats that he's put together, some musicians out there. I've seen some studio clips, and so it's going to be a fun kind of marriage of his stuff and then probably some music we're familiar with and mixed all together. So we've got two silent discos Friday night and Saturday night to just keep the party going.
Right. That'll be cool. Well, and I'm sure there'll also be plenty of jam sessions. That's one of the things I loved about the ranch was after the music shuts down, everybody's playing their own. That was a lot of fun.
Exactly. And in fact, we're working with a local musician who's in a band called Antelope, Fish Tribute, who played, I think, April of May of 24. I think he did the Get Down last year, as I remember. So he's going to kind of facilitate a Saturday night jam for us, I think, and be an anchor.
That'll be a lot of fun. I wish I could get a drum on the plane, but that's a little bit heavy cargo to fly to Florida with.
Right. We'll talk ahead of time, and maybe we can requisition something from the back line.
Oh, nice. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. So you mentioned Billy Strings. He actually, when we started talking about this, he had announced his tour dates, and it sounds like he's going to be in Tampa the week before the event. For anybody that's doing the Billy Strings show, you could actually double your experience by also then heading to the Florida Sand Ranch for Sunshine Get Down.
Exactly. He's going to be in St. Augustine for 3 nights the weekend before. And then I think it's Wednesday the 9th. He's at the what the locals call the Sun Dome
Hmm.
It's now called the Yingling Center up in Tampa on the college campus. But he's there Wednesday. So, yeah, you could see a ton of bluegrass and then come out for us and, get even more. And, I forgot to mention, we do have a national touring bluegrass band on the bill. We put them a little higher up just because
Oh
of
yeah.
music. We have Sickard Hollow playing.
Yeah, those guys are actually great. Have you seen them live? Have you
I
seen
haven't seen
them?
them live, no.
I caught them for the first time at the Caverns during K-Fest a few years ago. And they're great, right? Like they kind of bring a little bit of almost like a punk flavor to bluegrass a little bit. Like it's just an interesting take on bluegrass. I'm excited to see those guys.
Cool. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I forgot to mention them because, as I said, we have them a little earlier in the day just because the flow of the acoustic music versus some, more rock and roll. So,
Yeah.
but you asked about the ranch. So we obviously had an active hurricane season last summer, and the ranch had some significant damage. There was no structural damage or, anything that was permanent, but when our event happened in November, about a third of the primitive camping up on the hillside was inaccessible because there were some down trees blocking the roads, and those trees had created big holes in the ground and stuff like that. The root balls had left big holes in the ground. So the ranch has been working like crazy, and they have actually opened up all that primitive camping on the hillside. So it's really about doubled our capacity up
It's
there.
phenomenal. That's
And
good.
that is wonderful because we had to shut down the number of vehicles. We reached capacity not for humans and not bodies in the park, but for vehicles and for some camping. But so for April, all that problem is solved. Um, the field on kind of the backside of the property was flooded. Lake McClendon flooded, and about 6 weeks ago, we met with a hydrologist from the state of Florida,
Okay.
whose job it is to study all those kind of things. And he came from the Southwest Florida Water Management Agency, which is affectionately known here as Swift Mud.
Okay.
And,
That's appropriate.
yeah, but he came out, and a number of us from the ranch and some other promoters wanted to hear what he had to say. And the best news is that the lake, the floodplain on the field, is not permanent. It is receding. It will go back, and the aquifer was about 90% full at that time, and a year ago it was about 40% full. So the water's draining. It just has nowhere to go until it
Yeah.
eventually reaches the Gulf, where it drains out. So the water's receding. We have more use of the field. We've got more space for boondock campers, RVs that don't want to, they're on electric space running off a generator, something like that. We have
Yeah.
much space for boondockers, and we have more space for primitive camping, and very excited about that. And what we call the 6,000s, which we did not use at all at the last event. Very often there's a vendor row along there or some more premium RV camping because it's as close to the stage as you can get on that side. Those are all going to be available now.
That's good. So is the layout going to be similar or very different to Sunshine Hootenanny? I know that at Hootenanny, what was convenient was you had the pavilion stage and then you turned 90 degrees and there was the second stage. So if you really wanted to kind of bring your chair and set up for the day, you didn't have to move too much. Are you guys doing it differently or is it going to be about the same?
Nope, it's going to be the same. I think that's a great layout, format for us because it keeps everything together. The main stage is under the pavilion. It's a 7,500 square foot concrete slab. So it's shaded. As you said, people can bring their chairs, and, you can set up. You can have a little cooler next to yourself.
Yeah.
Beer and wine for sale on site. You're welcome to bring your own in also. And then, like you said, all you have to do is turn 90 degrees, and the second stage is right there. And also for the bands, we haven't heard a lot of grumbling, but sometimes when you're putting together events like this and you tell a band, all right, you're going to be on the mobile stage. Well, we don't want to be on that stage. We want to be
Yeah.
on the big stage. And my point to them is it's the same audience. There's no difference. The only reason we have two stages is so there's no downtime. So we can just one band ends at 3 o'clock, the next band starts at 3 o'clock.
Well, and for the attendees too, like I just thought it was great. I mean, the crowd was really, really friendly and very welcoming. And you go to these festivals and everybody's pretty cool about things, but people just left their stuff there all weekend. They left their chairs, they left their wagons, their blankets, whatever. That's less stuff you have to cart around going from stage to stage. I personally think that that's the less work I have to do shuffling my stuff around at a festival, the better off.
Right.
Uh,
That's great. I mean, it keeps everything kind of contained in a little area, and then on the so we have one stage here, and then ringed around it on the outside are our vendors.
yeah.
So the vendors are close to the stages, they're close to the main action where people are moving around, and they're high visibility. So it's good. We want everything in that area, and then we have other activities that are kind of out and beyond. In the youth pavilion that I mentioned before, Friday and Saturday mornings, we have a sound meditation followed by yoga. And on Saturday, we have 2 yoga sessions because they were so popular. We want to keep that going. Over in that area, we do some kids' activities. We've got arts and crafts, a rock painting workshop, and a hula hoop workshop.
Oh,
And
cool.
I think there may be a juggling workshop.
Okay.
We've got some kid stuff. And for the Hootenanny, we had somewhere around 45 people, 21 and under.
Okay.
I don't remember the breakdown of like 12 and under versus 21 and under, but we did have a significant number of younger people, which is, awesome.
The kids I saw running around with their parents and whatnot looked like they were having a ball. So that was that's always good too. I think, as the festival goers tend to get families, you want them to keep going. So there's got to be stuff to entertain the entire family, right? And I think you guys did a real nice job of that in the spring. So I'm excited, or in the fall. So I'm excited to see what it looks like in April. The vendors were also great at Hootenanny. So is it going to be a lot of the same ones, or have you added more vendors? What's the food going to look like?
We try to mix it up a little bit. We don't want every event to feel the same, and so we mix up the MCs a little bit. We mix up the food a little bit. We're probably going to have the grilled cheese vendor back because they're very popular, and I think they're coming all the way from Indiana. Maybe.
Oh, really?
They're not regional here from Florida. If it was successful for them and they want to come back and they were hit with us, we like that. I've got some notes. So we have Fractal Pie, Freewheeling Pizzeria. Fractal Pie is a family-owned business. They prepare wood-fired pizza at festivals across the U.S. And we believe great pizza should be available at every event. And they're passionate about sharing their love for delicious food, which I think is great. Of course, that includes some vegan and vegetarian options, as well as meat lovers. So I like those options. We've got one called Rising Vibes Kitchen, and they provide casual and dynamic world-inspired street food.
Cool.
So they started in 2017, travel around, do all kinds of events, and I love this. The goal of Rising Vibes Kitchen is to transcend global flavors by representing street foods from around the world, served with love and gratitude.
That's cool.
And Brea's Coffee's coming back. We had them, and a number of people were just delighted that he was up and running by 7 a.m.
I was definitely one of those people. It was really nice to see that they were out there very early, because I tend to be an early riser at these things anyway, and that's the first thing I'm looking for is a nice big cup of coffee. So
happy about that. We got something called Surfing Coconut, and they serve fresh coconuts, and they have a little kind of stamp, and they're actually going to be able to brand the coconuts with our logo.
Oh, nice. So they actually serve it like in a coconut.
It's in a coconut.
That'll be something I have to try. That's kind of neat. A lot of different experiences, VIP packages. So people that want a little bit extra in terms of that, what are you guys doing for this one?
So this is the first time we've added that. And part of the reason is there are some people who really want that kind of experience and aren't really, don't really look at events that don't have those options.
Yeah.
So, that's something that we wanted to add. So everything from when you arrive at the front gate, we're going to have 2 lanes. We're going to have a fast pass lane for the premium ticket holders to get them in a little bit quicker. We're going to have 2 kind of exclusive, viewing areas. One is going to be on the main pavilion, back on stage left, if you remember where the concession area is.
Yep.
There's kind of a corner right there. So we're going to have a little viewing area there with a riser and some furniture and stuff like that. So a little hangout area. Not going to be right up against the stage because we want to maintain that as a dance floor for everybody.
Yeah.
They'll have a little area back there with good sight lines, and they can see the main stage here and turn that far and see the mobile stage.
And they're right by the concessions, which is even better.
Well, they're by the concessions, but we're going to have a second lounge in between the main pavilion and the mobile stage, and this will be like a 20 by 30 tent, and it'll have a dedicated bar in there for the ticket holders, so they can have complimentary non-alcoholic beverages there, and then the tickets include a couple free beer or wines, and then if they want more, then there'll be a cash, it's all cash bar that's available to them. So there'll also be a restroom trailer right at that location, so a little nicer than the porta potties, with sinks and running water and all that kind of stuff. All the premium attendees get a merchandise package with our hat and T-shirt and poster and koozie. And the posters were amazing, and they sold out. And
they did.
Well, we have a second round of posters that are being shipped tomorrow.
Okay.
The Hootenanny.
Oh, really? Oh, put me down for this.
I absolutely will.
Yeah.
So they were so popular that we're going to do another printing of those. And let me mention this right now. In early February, we're going to start a raffle. So we have Hootenanny posters signed by the 3 headliners, Mo, Karina, and Dogs.
Oh, wow.
The other is signed by Mo only.
Okay.
And we're going to put up a raffle of those 2 items, and then draw that raffle probably late March, maybe even April 1st. We'll fine tune that. And the proceeds of those will go to support the ranch itself, which is owned by a nonprofit corporation, the Will McLean Foundation. So the whatever the poster goes for, we're going to donate that to the ranch for hurricane recovery. And then the other poster is going to go to a nonprofit music venue in Gulfport called the Blueberry Patch.
Okay.
They
That's
are
very cool.
one of the world's most unique music venues. It is an amazing place. I won't even try to describe it. You really got to go see it yourself. It's outdoors, and all kinds of little nooks and crannies and tables, and just everywhere you look, there's some kind of decoration or yard gnome or artwork, something like that. And they had extensive hurricane damage as well. So they're actually our mobile stage sponsor.
Okay.
So we appreciate their support, and we want to return the love. So
that's really cool. You guys are doing that. And talk about a one-of-a-kind festival artifact to have the first poster from the Sunshine Hootenanny signed by all those bands. Like that's worth entering the contest just for that. That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. So and in conjunction with that, we're going to create an online store on our website, sunshinemusicfest.com. And we haven't done this before, but all the merchandise for the last few years is going to be available, and there'll be great deals and discounts on the old merchandise, because obviously we want to clear out space for the new stuff that we're bringing in. So the new run of the posters, the raffle, and the new online store, all that'll be kind of put up in conjunction together.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And that, sometimes people don't like to buy, like I'm traveling, right? So when I go to festivals, a lot of times, like I'll hold back on buying something just if they don't have shipping available right there. But what you're saying is, even if you don't get it at the festival, you can still get your merch when you get home, or even before you get there, you can have it pre-ordered.
Yep.
Will it be up in time for that?
Yep.
Awesome. That's great.
Yep.
That's fantastic. So when do you guys are in kind of the early bird pricing right now? When do the tiers start to change?
So the early bird tickets sold out. So we're in tier 1, and that goes until March 15th. And so 3-day passes right now are $175. And then on March 15th, which is just not quite a month before the event, then they go up to $200.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, and I do want to mention this too, and thank you for this. But you've graciously given us some passes to give away on the podcast.
Yep.
There'll be some links in the show notes, but we have two free three-day GA passes that include primitive camping and a car pass as well.
Yep.
And that ticket value right now is as at $475 for that package. So if you look in the show notes, there's going to be a link to a landing page. It's a pretty simple contest. Simply get on and follow some social profiles and share some things on your own socials, and that gets you a bunch of different entries. And we'll be doing that drawing. I believe we said March 31st. I think is the date I have. I'll have to double check that, but all the information will be in the show notes for this episode. And you could actually, if you enter that contest, you might be able to hit this festival on Turner. So thank you very much for granting us those passes, Turner.
Yep.
What are you most excited about? So as it's a lot of work to put these things together. What are you looking forward to the most about this festival?
Wow, well, that's a tough question. I'm just looking here kind of at our schedule and all the bands and everything. I mean, for me, it's the whole experience. I was really very happy at the Hootenanny. I had friends come from Ohio who came down, and I had friends from Virginia and West Virginia and North Carolina come down. And I think for April, I've talked a bunch of others. Well, it didn't take too much convincing, but
Yeah.
I've talked to a bunch of others, friends from my school and college to come down. So, seeing people from 30 years ago that I was hanging out with and going to shows, and now it's my event. So
Yeah,
really a
that's
lot of
cool.
fun. Kind of being on the other side of it, and it was fun. I ran into Moe's trailer and grabbed the set list to give my buddy every night, who's a particular Moe fan, and that's why I made sure I got some fun little souvenirs.
Yeah. That's cool. That's very cool. Well, I thought that the Hootenanny just went down seamlessly, and it was really well organized, and everybody had such a great time. And the Florida Sand Ranch is really, it's a unique venue. I have not been to Swanee yet. That's on my list to go to. But if it's a bigger version of the ranch, then I'm sure that'll be great too. But I tend to lean more towards the intimate festivals in an interesting environment that's covered in trees, and that's exactly what Florida Sands has to offer, including hot showers and flush restrooms, which is phenomenal. After you've been camping for 3 or 4 days and arguably having some partying going on with that too, it's always nice to wake up and get a hot shower in the morning. So
yeah, that's great. People really love the ranch. It has operated for decades. And if you look at the photos of the main stage, it's got kind of that barn, relief, design on the front, kind of looks like a house and barn. And, any band that's played on that stage, and then you see the picture, exactly where that was.
yeah,
It's such a landmark, and people have such a connection to that place. There's so many great festivals. The Camping with the Blues, Whippersnap, this will be their second year. There's all kinds of Celtic festivals. I was up there this past weekend, just yesterday, to take some measurements and stuff, and no music, but hammocks. They have an event one weekend here called Hang Con, and people put up their hammocks and sleep in the trees and just hang out and have a good time. There's no
What an
band.
interesting event. Yeah, that's interesting.
So it's a versatile property. Historically, it's been used for all kinds of youth programs and 4-H and kind of Boy Scout stuff, and it's got a long history. And as you said, it's got great facilities. There are private hot showers, private bathrooms, beer and wine for sale on site. The beer is only $5.
Yeah.
A number of people commented about that. Like, this isn't like stadium pricing. This is wonderful. It's $5 for beer, and you can bring your own. You can bring the cooler. You can bring your dogs. Just have to be on a leash. It really is a wonderful little place. It's 45 minutes from the Tampa airport, so For all the folks who flew in and traveled for the Hootenanny, I think it was easy travel for them.
Yeah.
You can get a hotel package from us that includes all those premium amenities. You can get a hotel by yourself, and in either case, we have a shuttle option. So for $149, you've got round trip shuttle for the whole 3-day event.
Well, and I appreciate it too for out of towner folks like myself who are coming in. You wait till you get to the venue to buy your food. You don't have, if you're flying into Tampa, you don't have to stop anywhere near the hustle and bustle of Tampa. Just go straight to Brooksville. There's plenty of grocery stores. There's everything you need within 10 minutes of the venue. It's a super convenient place, if you're traveling to a festival to have that experience. So, yeah, it's a great location. And this is happening again, April 10th through the 12th. It is the Sunshine Get Down Music and Arts Festival, and it is at the Florida Sand Music Ranch in Brooksville. Hats off to you, Turner, for putting together great festivals. I'm excited to get down there for this one. Going to be a great lineup, and thanks for sharing the preview with us.
Well, thank you very much. I'm just looking at my notes. I'll just mention a couple other things in closing. We have a stilt walker who's going to be coming around doing her thing and doing some juggling. So adding kind of a fun mobile attraction to the event. And we have 2 theme nights. Friday is Carnival.
Okay.
So you'll see some people dressed up, kind of circus oriented stuff. And then Saturday night is our toga party.
Okay. That'll be interesting.
And one of the reasons I was up there yesterday is we have a prospective sponsor, and I hope to wrap up the details later this week with them. And we may have some kind of a foam party also.
Oh, that'll be interesting. Lots of surprises in store for this year's fest.
Exactly. So, we want to bring music and fellowship and adventures and, jams and all that kind of stuff and activities for the kids and, all those kind of things. And then these other fun little kind of unexpected surprises.
Well, I'm sure I can speak for anybody who's been there before, but hats off to you for doing great work on getting these events together. Such a good time at Sunshine Hootenanny. I'm very excited to get down and get down. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Right on. Well, thank you for all your support and coverage. And look here, right on my desk, I keep.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Little thing right here.
I will have those for Get Down as well too. So thank you very much for taking that. But yeah, keep doing the good work, and we'll see you in April.
Right on. Thanks for everything.
And that is all the time we have for this week, neighbors. I always enjoy talking with Turner and the folks down at the Sunshine Fests in Florida, and I'm excited to get down there in April for the Get Down. On that note, we do have the contest running where you can win 2 free 3-day GA passes, and those include your primitive camping and car pass. So the total package is $475. You can look at the show notes for the link to that contest, and it's super simple to enter. And if you do, you and I might just be neighbors down at the Florida Sand Music Ranch in April. For even more chances to win free concert tickets and fest tickets in 2025, make sure to visit musicfestivalspodcast.com and subscribe to the neighborhood email newsletter. That's where you're going to find chances to win these and more tickets. Some of the contests we have going right now are really great. We've got tickets available for Cave Jam 2025 taking place down at the Caverns in Tennessee over Memorial Day weekend. So that's May 24th and 25th. You can also enter to win tickets to Incarceration Music and Tattoo Festival happening July 18th through the 20th at the Mansfield State Penitentiary in Ohio. Thanks again for tuning in. I really appreciate all of you that watch the show. There's well over 5,000 of you now that are in the neighborhood. And it just keeps growing each week. And I'm excited for it to grow even more because we're getting into the warm season soon. If that is you, if you are one of the folks in the neighborhood who like this show, please do me a solid and go ahead and rate it wherever you get it, whether that's on YouTube or any of the podcast networks. We really like the feedback, and all the ratings help us get the show out to more folks just like you. That's all I have for you this week, though. As always, I am your host, Neighbor Nate, and I hope to be your neighbor at a festival very soon.